Hello, guys.
Hello. Can you
Hi,
hear?
Romain.
Good to see you. Yes, I can see you.
Can you hear?
I think everyone can hear and see, absolutely.
I think Maria is on the other Irene.
Is that? Yeah, she's in already.
Maybe remain as the ladies start. Why don't you introduce us to the ladies and let us know which company they're from, and then they can take the floor.
Absolutely, exactly what I was going to. We were just trying to wait for Maria, which there you go. We're all good.
Work BC team right there. Welcome, ladies.
Exactly.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for joining us, Irene, Maria. Thank you, and also, sorry I didn't catch your name.
It's Vanessa. Yeah,
Very
my
nice
name is
to meet
Vanessa.
you
Sorry,
as well.
I did not realize that my name is Irene Lynn, so I think I need to change that.
Yeah, that's
Okay. Vanessa, our site
There you
manager.
go.
Thank you so much for joining in today. The floor is yours. Please, Work BC. I mean, we have a lot of people are in BC right now while listening to our presentation. So please, the floor is yours.
Wonderful. Thank you. Right. So, hi, everyone. I'm sure you're all pumped. It's been such an incredible day for everybody. You've heard from an amazing lineup of employer presenters. And on that note, I'd like to thank CanMar, gracious host Alicia, Romain, and rest of the team for having us this afternoon. And I'd like to thank everyone as well for staying on and to hear us out. Again, my name is Maria Poe. I am the client engagement coordinator for Work BC. And joining me this afternoon are my colleagues from the Vancouver Northeast location. I'd like to introduce Vanessa here, Villasaran, our center manager. Hi, Vanessa. And of course, we have Irene Lynn, our job developer from the Vancouver Northeast location. So it really gives me pleasure to provide you an overview of Work BC, provide you pretty much a glimpse of what the program is all about. And Irene here will be sharing the slides just for everybody to just go through with us with the details that we have available for you all. All right, so definitely we're here to provide you information on how we can support you, equip you with tools to navigate your job search, career development opportunities, as well as help you thrive and succeed. So on that note, I'm sure everybody's just wanting to find out what exactly is Work BC. So we are the free employment support program funded by the Ministry of Social Development and Poverty Reduction. It's actually a service that we offer to job seekers and employers alike. Now, as a job seeker, you actually have an opportunity to tap into our free services just to get help for long-term sustainable support for your employment requirements. And so I'd like to just take you through these requirements that we, and whatever support we can provide you for whatever requirements that you have. I'm just gonna have to adjust. I think I've got something going on here. If you'll bear with me, a little bit of a tech issue on my end here. All right. So going back to the support services, we do offer, if you are actually a client of Work BC, a job seeker, we do provide personalized services through needs assessment, help with identifying and addressing challenges and barriers to employment, as well as support for improving your skills to keep you competitive in the market. Now, just what exactly do we offer in terms of services? Now, we do have a comprehensive lineup of services. Um, Before I actually mention that, I do have really a very happy testimonial here from a client saying that, and I quote, I had applied for 4 jobs and have heard back from basically 2 employers, and thank Work BC for the support and the greatest gratitude for all their help. Work BC has amazing employees that really do care, and we do care and would like to just make sure that you do get the services that you need, beginning with case management. So to mean that if you are a client of Work BC, you get to work one-on-one with a professional, very experienced employment counselor to assess your needs, your transferable skills. Uh, we're there to work with you in finding your sustainable employment. Now, your employment counselor can then refer you to other services available through Work BC and partner organizations. Now, we also have incredible job developers, Irene Lynn here being one of them. Now, a job developer has connections with a variety of industries and can assist in connecting you to employers through their network. Now, job developers are also able to provide you feedback. Employers are actually obviously in contact with our job developers and vice versa. And on that note, as a client, you get to actually get feedback and support for your interview skills, um, your resumes, and all the tools that you need to effectively engage with employers. Now, we do offer specialized assessments, and these are employment related assessments that provide you as a client the support that you need to better understand your unique strengths, your needs, capabilities, pretty much everything that's related to help you just go through a smooth process, right? In terms of also entering the labor market or reconnecting with the labor market for that matter. We also have such a fantastic lineup of workshops. So ranging from interview skills, resume writing, workplace communication, we've got career exploration, and the list goes on. So if this is something that, you know, at the onset, you're actually already interested in, given the services that I've already mentioned, please bear in mind that we definitely would love to hear from you later on in the day. After this session, we will have our contact information for you to get in touch with us. Now, I'd like to highlight among the services we offer as well, the financial supports that we have available. Not many know that Work BC does offer financial supports for eligible clients. So that could actually range from support for work gear, your work clothes, transportation, if you need kind of bus passes or other tools that would definitely fuel and help you with your job search. We do provide certification if you are eligible. Our training supports range from long-term to short-term supports. So this will really all depend on exactly what you're looking for. Or if you are on employment insurance, for instance, then the range of support really just kind of expands into more opportunity for you to tap into longer term training supports, and we will be discussing that a bit later on as we also open up the floor for Q&A. And definitely for those of you who are looking for, you know, credential evaluation, we also do provide like funding supports on that end. Vanessa being here with us this afternoon will also be able to provide us from her perspective a more in-depth kind of overview of what these financial supports mean if you were a client of Work BC. Now, we also provide very thorough follow-up services. So you will be working with job sustainment specialists, which means that you are able to get that continuing support, not just from the onset of finding work, but we want to make sure that you are actually getting continued coaching, maintenance services, and pretty much making sure and ensuring that you are successful in your newfound job and career. Now, we do also offer wage subsidies. So for employers who are here as well, this is pretty much really a great opportunity for you as an employer and for clients to actually avail of this service. And again, we will be discussing this in a bit more during our Q&A session, as this is one of the things that I know pops up during the session. So what it entirely means is that with wage subsidy, we are able to subsidize up to 50% of a client's wage. This is an incentive for the employer to hire and provide on-the-job training to an eligible client. Now, we also provide customized employment. This is a flexible process designed to personalize the employment relationship between a client and an employer. So for those of you who have special requirements and special needs, this is absolutely customized employment process that you may be interested in or would definitely have in mind for family members or anyone in your community who needs help getting customized support, employment support. Um, in addition to training, I've mentioned long-term and short-term training supports. The skills enhancement training services, we provide assist eligible clients to obtain the skills necessary to obtain employment through participation in training, which may range from the adult basic education, the academic and upgrading to occupational skills training, and as I've mentioned earlier, short duration training. I know that we have here on the slides just a kind of a preview of employer partners that we have. We've got more. I mean, just we're space restricted, but we do work with amazing employers, and we'd love for you to actually hear more about how we can connect you. And of course, CanMar and all the employers who are on board are basically our partners as well, and we'd love to partner up for those whom we haven't really quite connected with and see how much we can actually support you in making sure that we are connecting you to suitable talent. And at the same time, you as a job seeker will have an opportunity to really engage effectively and meaningfully with the employers that we actually have also on board this afternoon in this session. And so on that note, I'd like to just highlight on a few specialized services. So as we are located, Work BC is pretty much across all of BC and across the lower mainland here in Vancouver. As a contractor, we do have several locations, but so specific to which location you may find yourself in or choose to avail of your Work BC support services. We do have supports available for Indigenous persons through our partners, for example, Access. We do also have support programs for persons with a disability through our BC Center for Ability Partner. We also have supports for youth and youth at risk, persons with multiple barriers, or among all sort of specialized support programs available, as well as for Francophones and immigrants, survivors of violence, just right across all of Metro Manila and through our respective partners, including the YWCA. And so on that note, highlighting again on financial supports, as I've mentioned, and I just want to, just reemphasize the fact that we have this available for eligible clients. Vanessa will be speaking more about this, as I've mentioned later on. So just to make sure that we don't forget, and we want to highlight the fact that we do have these financial supports available to you. Now, we've worked with hundreds upon hundreds of clients, and it gives me pleasure to hear as well and to share what our clients have to say about our services. We have a direct quote here from Daphne, and she says, and I quote, "It is an amazing experience for me and absolutely beyond my expectation. It's like the first window opening for me being new to Canada, and I hope it is just the start. And from another client, I graciously thank you for taking the time to give me your support, both in my resume and with my interview skills workshop. I am impressed with the support work BC clients get back into the job, with the help that they get back into the job market. And you are absolute pleasure to work with. So, how to access our Work BC support services? Well, simply, first off, if you're ready with your pen and paper, or just be able to record this, do call us at 604-708-9300. Repeat it, 604-708-9300, or simply go online. We do have the workbc.ca website, and pretty straightforward. It is actually a process that you can just click on there, uh, click on Employment Services, Work BC Center, and choose the center that is most convenient for you. Um, we do, at the moment, have very limited in-person supports, but virtually we definitely have so much of that going on right now. For in-person, we do a lot of that by appointment, given the situation, as your health and your safety is our priority. And so just to let you know that once you have successfully signed up for Work BC, you will get to speak with an employment counselor. Right now, it will be virtual or by telephone, and as necessary, as I've mentioned earlier, by appointment, given our situation and with COVID-19 restrictions. Then you get to discuss your employment goals and your needs, and from there on, build an action plan for sustainable employment, and get to also identify your skills, the skills that you definitely need to make you absolutely competitive and ready for the job market. Now, as I've mentioned, we do have various locations. Now, there are multiple Work BC locations across BC and the Lower Mainland. We are contracted, and among the many contracted, to deliver Work BC support services in the following locations. So we actually have our Vancouver Northeast location, which is conveniently located right across the commercial Broadway SkyTrain station. And the rest, of course, of our locations are very transit accessible. So we've got one in Delta, Ladner. Out in Surrey, we have one at Surrey Cloverdale, and in the South Surrey White Rock location. And again, I repeat, these are all transit accessible. All right, at this juncture, I'd like to open up the floor for questions to hear both from potential clients here, from our job seekers and employers and the rest of the panel. Okay, thank you so much. And I open the floor to you if there are any questions.
There are a few questions. If you'd like me to read some of them,
Absolutely.
Maria. So, is there any age limit for application?
Well, we actually work with youth as well. So from 16, and the age limit is, well, there is no such thing as age limit for us. We definitely provide service to everybody. We definitely also look into everyone's eligibility. If you happen to be, say, ineligible at the moment for Work BC support services, then we will refer you to the appropriate program. And maybe Vanessa here might want to add on to that more information around age limit. Please feel free to chime in.
Oh, hi, everyone. Yeah, to add more to the information that was provided by Maria, there's no age limit, as Maria mentioned. Anyone, for everyone who still wants to work, okay? But for the youth, from 16 years old. So we have a partner, an organization partner, which is Frog Hollow Neighborhood House, who helps with youth population. So basically 16 to no age limit.
Sky's the limit. Well, we've had clients even, ranging from, not to say they're old, 70 to 80. I mean, like,
70. I used to had a client 70 years old. Yeah.
yeah, and I've
Yeah.
some time back, I've actually had a client who was way in his 80s and successfully landed a wonderful career opportunity in his 80s.
Do you have any training for cannabis product knowledge available? Couple question that came a couple of times.
Okay, I'll answer that, Maria.
Right, you can.
So for clients who are eligible for short-term training, since we're talking about maximum of 35 hours or 1 day to maximum of 2 days. And for longer training, we're talking about a month to 6 months to a year or more than that. So what we do is if the client, we assess that client is eligible and we think that she or he needs this training, then we will ask the clients to research more for the training provider. And then the client will come to us and then we will process the proper documentation for them and ask, for approval. But we don't really have a training provider that we recommend for the cannabis. Yeah.
Yeah, just to actually be fair, we do go through that process. There is a process for eligible clients to go through and avail of training and funding. So definitely for so those of you who are looking for training in the area of cannabis specific to this industry, then it's a process that we will go through you, but it's pretty straightforward as well. That you just definitely need to work this out with your employment counselor. So as much as you will have an assigned employment counselor, and if you're eligible for training, then this will be a process to go through with the employment counselor.
Excellent. For people that are not living in BC, unfortunately, what would be the process? Can they still get in touch with you? After such a nice presentation, we have people actually asking this.
Oh, okay, well, thank you for that. Now, you can get in touch with me or with Vanessa. I primarily overlooking the client engagement piece, and I can definitely refer you to the what I would actually say would be appropriate programs out in your region, in your area. As it is, we're not, Work BC is pretty much limited around our region here, but I could definitely provide you with information on who to connect with for similar supports in your area.
Fantastic. So yes, so people, you can definitely get in touch with them for sure. Let me see if there's any other question. Would you have any advice and tips for salary negotiation in the cannabis industry? Why not?
Why not? Okay. Would Irene want to chime in here? Vanessa, I'd like for the person asking this question to get the perspective from our case manager, a case manager perspective, or a job developer's perspective, because that's a really very good question.
There's two ways to tackle this.
Yes,
so number one, first, you should always do your research.
Yeah.
The best places to do them, we always recommend Glassdoor. We do have a Work BC website too that you can go in and it will give you a list of how much on average a person is making. Now that being said, it's also a good idea if you're unsure, you could also ask the question back in the interview. So I've heard someone ask them back, what salary did you have in mind? And then, but it's always important it really depends on your experience. But we always recommend maybe if you're like an experienced person, you should negotiate always the higher range, the higher number, and then that gives you room to negotiate back. But if you want to know what is in the mind of the employer, it's always a good idea to ask them, what do you have in mind? And also, it also depends on the package that you're getting. So In a way, it also depends on, are you getting, what kind of benefits are you getting? Are you getting health benefits? Are you getting more vacation? Maybe sometimes you get a gym membership. So it really depends, but definitely it all comes down to research. I don't know if
That's
Vanessa
correct.
wanted
Yeah.
to add.
So for a case manager's perspective, I always suggest the client to, of course, research like what Irene was mentioned, but to better to attend our workshop on interview skills, because it is being tackled during the workshop, how to negotiate salary and how to ask the correct question to the employer, and how to answer questions from the employer, and have to have strategy when it comes to talking about money, like salary, right? So like what Irene was saying, is it's better, for example, to research in Glassdoor or PayScale when it comes to this experience for a particular position. It will give you kind of like an overview of how much is the entry level, median wage, or the highest wage for this kind of position in the industry. So yeah, it's also better to talk to other people who's on the same position, so that you can have kind of like an idea before doing a salary negotiation, right? Because it's not it depends on the package, like what Irene was mentioning. Is there any career advancement in that company? Is there any training provided in the future? Care benefits, flexibility? So it depends. So you have to put all those things into consideration or factors before, before deciding on what particular amount are you willing to get lower with, right? Because the maximum, of course, we want it higher, but the lowest one, the the most lowest amount that we can take in, provided that, it depends. So you have to weigh it. It depends on you. What do you value most, right? So yeah, like I mentioned, when you become a kind of work PC, part of the workshop topic is to know more about salary negotiation, and even employment counselor. Sometimes they do mock interview on how to tackle this.
Awesome. And guys, this is all the time we have. Thank you so much again for taking the time to answer those questions and for the presentation. Again, we will forward your details to our attendees to follow up on those questions as well.
Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much again for the opportunity for us to present everybody here. And we do look